Hello there. Let's learn mathematics. My name is Achiboye Isaac, and this time around, we want to learn a very important topic in further mathematics. And the topic is inequality. Can I hear you say that? Inequality. Our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, learners should be able to apply basic inequality rules to determine the solution set of a quadratic inequality in one variable. To determine the solution set of quadratic inequality in one variable. That's our objectives. So we want to learn the different method on how to do that. Okay? So key vocabulary words. Inequality. It is a relation comparing two relatable quantity. It is a relation comparing two relatable quantity. It can be greater than, less than, or equal to. That is, these two quantities we are comparing, they can be greater than, one can be greater than the other, one can be less than the other, and they can be equal to. So, inequality signs, less than, that's the inequality sign, just like you fold your left hand elbow. Negative, if a is less than 0, it simply means that a is negative. Any number that is less than 0 is negative. Any number that is less than 0 is negative. Also, greater than, just like you fold your right hand elbow, that sign is greater than. Positive, if a is greater than 0, it can be interpreted as a is positive. Any number that is greater than 0 is positive. So anytime you see a greater than 0 or x greater than 0, it simply means that x is a positive number. Or if you see a less than 0, it means a is x or a is a negative number. So we can have another inequality sign there, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. One of them must be satisfied. It is either it is greater than or equal to. One of them should be satisfied. So if I say a is greater than or equal to 3, it means a can be 3 or a can be greater than 3. Okay? If I say a is greater than or equal to 3, it means a can be 3 or a can be greater than 3. So watch out for those technical meaning as we go through the lesson. Quadratic inequalities in one variable. It's just very similar to a quadratic equation, except that in this case we are using inequality sign in place of equality, strictly equality in the quadratic equation. So for example, ax squared plus bx plus c is greater than or equals to 0. We can as well have a quadratic inequality in one variable as ax squared plus bx plus c less than 0. And we have different methods to approach this problem. Different methods. So I'll take you through the different methods, but in this lesson, we'll only discuss one. Then our next lesson, we'll discuss the other method. All right? So that if you find this method comfortable and suitable, then you can use. Otherwise, you resort to the other method that I will explain in the next lesson. Method 1. If you multiply two variables and the result is greater than 0, that is, the result is positive, therefore means that either a is positive and b is positive, or a is negative and b is negative. For instance, 3 times 2 is plus 6. That is because I'm multiplying plus 3 and plus 2. So I'm getting plus 6, which means it's giving me a positive number, isn't it? On the other hand, minus 3 times minus 2 will also give me plus 6. Okay, so it's suggesting that I'm multiplying a negative number by another negative number to get a positive number. So if I am multiplying a by b and I'm getting a positive number, then either a is positive, greater than 0, and b is greater than 0, or a is less than 0 and b is less than 0. That is, a is negative and b is negative. On the other hand, if A times B is less than 0, if I multiply two numbers and I'm getting a number less than 0, that is, I'm getting a negative result, then either A is negative, A is less than 0, and B is greater than 0, that is, B is positive, or A is positive, greater than 0, and B is negative, B is less than 0. Okay, either way, I will get a negative answer. That is, for instance, if I say minus 3 times 2, it will give me minus 6, which is less than 0. In that case, minus 3 is negative, but 2 is positive. Okay, and if I do it the other way too, plus 3 times minus 2, you see that I'll still get minus 6, which is less than 0. And in this case, you will notice that minus 2 is negative, is less than 0. Okay, so if I multiply two numbers and I'm getting a negative answer, it suggests that one of them is negative. And if I'm multiplying two numbers and I'm getting a positive answer, it's either both of them are positive or both of them are negative. So that is what this method is suggesting, and that's what we're going to use to solve a quadratic inequality in one variable. Example: find the solution set of x squared plus x minus 6 greater than 0. Okay, so you can see that we have a quadratic expression on the left hand side of the inequality sign. So what we then need to do is to factorize that quadratic expression, all right, to get two factors. So if we factorize x squared plus x minus 6, we find the product and sum. We see that we get x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. And then if we group and pair, we have x squared plus 3x open bracket and close plus minus 2x minus 6. Please, it should be minus 2x. Then if you factorize, our final our final factors will be open bracket x plus 3 close bracket, then open bracket x minus 2 close bracket. So it suggests that we are multiplying two factors there. That bracket is multiplying this, the first bracket is multiplying the second bracket. So, and we are getting a positive answer. So if you go back to the method that we looked at earlier, it's either one of them or both of them are positive or both of them are negative. So if both of them are positive, that means x plus 3 is greater than 0, that is positive, or x minus 2 is greater than 0. So if you now, make x to be alone, that means x is greater than minus 3 or x is greater than 2, which can be combined as x is greater than 2. So what that combination there suggests is that if x is greater than minus 3 and x is greater than 2, definitely x is greater than minus 3. If x is greater than 2, then definitely x will be greater than minus 3. That's just the combination, all right? On the other hand, if we are saying we are multiplying two things and they are giving us a positive answer, the two things we are multiplying could be negative, and that's why we are saying or x plus 3 is less than 0 and x minus 2 is less than 0. If we make x against subject, we'll get that x is less than minus 3 or x is less than 2, which can be combined as x is less than minus 3. Why? Because if x is less than minus 3, therefore x will be less than 2. If x is less than minus 3, it suggests and implies directly that x is less than minus 3. So that's the combination of the two, and that's how you combine. So after getting your result, you combine the two, you interpret the two, that is which one best suits. So hence, we now take the union of the two sets in the first case and in the second case. So the solution set will now be x such that x is less than minus 3, which is the combination of the set for the second case, and the solution union x is such that x is greater than 2, which is the solution to the first case. So you can see the union of the two inequality is the solution set of the inequality. So what that means is that all the values before minus 3, if you substitute those values into the quadratic expression, you will get a positive answer. On the other hand, all the values after 2, if you substitute those values into your quadratic expression, you will also get a positive answer. You can confirm, you can put the values there, and then you will see that this will always be true. Let's look at another solved example. Show graphically the solution set of x squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. Okay, similar to what we did earlier, but this time around, you will notice that the one we did earlier was greater than 0, but this time around is less than or equal to 0. So that it's not the same. It's not the same. All right. So solution: x squared plus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So we factorize like we did before, and that will give us x minus 1 as a factor and x plus 4 as a factor. So x minus, open bracket, x minus 1, close bracket, open bracket, x plus 4, close bracket, less than or equal to 0. So we are saying that the two factors are multiplied and it's giving us a negative number. That is, the number they are giving us is less than 0 or equal to 0. Again, we are saying that if you multiply the bracket x minus 1 by the bracket x plus 4, the result is less than or equal to 0. So that suggests that either one of them is negative and the other is positive. So therefore, x minus 1 is less than 0 and x plus 4 is greater than 0. That is, x is less than or equal to 1 and x is greater than or equal to minus 4. And when we combine the two, we see that minus 4 is less than or equal to x and x is less than or equal to 1. Or the other case where x minus 1 is positive and x plus 4 is negative. So we are now going to have x minus 1 greater than 0 and x plus 4 less than 0. And if we solve, we have that x is greater than or equals to 1 and x is less than or equal to minus 4. But x cannot be greater than 1 and at the same time be less than minus 4. Okay, you cannot say x is greater than 1, for instance 2, and you are saying 2 is less than minus 4. That's not true, because 2 is greater than minus 4. So what we mean by that is that x cannot be greater than 1 and at the same time be less than minus 4. So that cannot hold. That solution set will be ignored because it is not possible. So it will be ignored. So we only hold on to the one that is correct or true or possible, which is minus 4 is less than or equals to x and is less than or equals to 1. And then we will now have the graph, the graphical representation, which you can see there on the number line that x is between minus 4 and 1. Okay, if you put any value between minus 4 and 1, minus 4 and 1 inclusive, you will notice that your x will be less than 0. That is, you will always get a negative number. Okay, so that is the solution of a quadratic inequality in one variable. Classwork. I wanted to attempt this classwork and forward your attempt to my WhatsApp number in the next 10 minutes. It shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. All right, follow the steps. First, you factorize the quadratic expression and then take the meaning. Is the expression saying a positive or negative? So if it is positive, you know what that means, that if you are multiplying two things to get a positive, and if it is negative, you know when you are multiplying two things to get a negative. So you look at that. And then in the first question, take note that there is 2 on the other side. You cannot solve that equation unless you have 0 on the right hand side. Every quadratic inequality must on the right hand side must have 0. So you must take everything on the right hand side to the left hand side, simplify to get 0 on the right hand side before you then proceed to factorize or otherwise. Okay, so forward your attempt of this classwork to my number. Assignment. Please, your assignment is due first thing tomorrow morning. I'll be expecting your attempt of the assignment. And please, don't shy away from doing the assignment. It's just to show that you have learned something or not. So if you haven't, I'll be waiting for your question. I'll be waiting to guide you. Whatever you do, I'll be willing to guide you. So make effort, make attempt, and make sure you use the tools on this platform. You can pause the video. You can listen to the video again for clarification. If I make a statement and it's not clear, you can rewind and then listen to that statement again. All right, I'm trying to manage data and all of that, so I believe that you should be able to solve these questions. See you in our next lesson. Thank you.